Yana bir bor assalomu alaykum. Bizni oliy maktabimizga va oliy maktabimiz auditoriyasiga ajratayotgan vaqtingiz uchun shaxsan o'zim nomimdan, jamoamiz nomidan va shu intervyuda qatnashuvchilar nomidan minnatdorchilik bildiraman. Endi mani xabarim bor, bugungi o'z chiqishingizni ingliz tilida olib borish bo'yicha gaplashganmiz. Shuning uchun agar hozir bizdan tinglovchilarimizni ijozati bilan va sizni ijozatingiz bilan biz ingliz tilida davom ettirsak, bizning suhbatni va demak bevosita prezentatsiyani ham sizga ingliz tilida olib borish imkoniyati shunda bo'ladi deb o'ylayman. Once again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your time, for being down here with us at our premises, at the premises of Public Graduate School of Business and Management. I'm really glad to see you, and and welcome you. And I think it would be nice if you just briefly introduce yourself by telling you about your background, about your working experience, so that the audience will have an overview of your personality, and then we can carry on with the presentation. And I think in the end we will move with the Q&A session, and including considering the fact that this year was announced in Uzbekistan was announced as the year of the research and the development of the digital economy. I think today's topic is very much topical, and I hope that our participants will get valuable elements that would help them in their further activities. So, Jasur, the floor is yours, and let's start our interview, please.
Sounds good. Let me share my screen because I do have a presentation that includes a little bit about myself. Could you confirm when you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, awesome. So yeah, good morning, everyone. Good evening by Uzbekistan time. I'm delighted to be joining you guys, and thanks for the opportunity to share some of my experiences and insights, and I'm looking forward to having a productive conversation today. So a little bit of an agenda. I plan on conducting this presentation both in English and Uzbek. Whenever there's a chance, I will chime in with some of the Uzbek elements of the presentation, so that if there is an audience that can benefit from it, they will. Here's the agenda. I'm not going to go through it one by one, but overall, what I plan on sharing today is sort of the background of the analytics industry, of the artificial intelligence industry, and specifically how is it currently used in banking, and how can we use analytics and data science to better acquire and retain our customers. A little bit about myself. I was born in Uzbekistan in 1997. I'm currently 23. I completed my elementary and secondary education in Uzbekistan, and I came to the United States in 2015 to pursue an education. And I obtained my undergraduate degree in marketing in 2018, and then my master's degree in business analytics in 2019, both from the University of Illinois. As far as the professional background is concerned, I completed 3 consecutive internships at BMO Financial Group. That's Banke Monrealia. It's a Canadian multinational investment and personal bank. And I have worked in the areas of commercial banking and data analytics. I also worked at a food market research company as a researcher. While I was an undergrad and grad student at University of Illinois, I completed 2 academic research papers that got published, and they're both related to the field of artificial intelligence. And I currently work as a lead consultant at BMO Financial Group and oversee various analytical initiatives, projects, and I'm mainly a consultant for our business partners who are looking to use data in a better way to attract new customers, to retain our customers, and to take full advantage of marketing analytics. And some of my interests include reading. I'm a big statistics fan, both for pleasure and also for my professional career. Other than that, I am interested in soccer, chess, and also mixed martial arts. So let me get started with the analytics industry. And after I conclude this part of the presentation, the slide in English, I'll definitely talk in Uzbek a little bit. So the question that I proposed here is, what does analytics mean in 2020? Traditionally, analytics has meant the science and practice of using data and various technologies and quantitative techniques to answer business questions, discover relationships, and predict outcomes. But in 2020, although the fundamental definition of this industry is consistent, currently it has become the heart and soul of evaluating everything that a company does and making real-time predictions, making decisions on an informed base, and uncovering different patterns and overall sort of nurturing innovation across industries. And although this definition might seem like a very broad definition, I have listed sort of 4 key figures down below that might indicate how important the industry has become. So 75%, the first number. So what does that mean? By the end of 2024, it's expected that 75% of financial services companies, so that's banks, insurance companies, investment banks, and private equity firms, they're all projected to shifting from just testing analytics or AI or just experimenting with it to fully operationalizing it. So what does that mean? So that means they're going to be using it on a daily basis, and they will reduce a lot of the efforts that they're currently making to test analytics and to try to see its value. In addition, 50% of employees in banking services and financial services are going to be exposed to AI and analytics tools on a daily basis in some capacity by 2021, so that's next year. And as an employee at a financial services institution, I can attest to that. I mean, sure, my job might be directly related to AI, but overall, I see a lot of people on the front lines who are working in different areas of the bank using AI tools to improve their day-to-day operation and to serve better our customers. More than that, by 2022, it's estimated that the big data and business analytics industry is expected to grow at $275 billion in revenue. So that's an annual growth rate of 13%, which means that it is one of the hottest and most sought-after industries currently. And looking at the history, in 2019, 68% increase was seen in cloud-based database management systems. So traditionally, data was stored on premises. Data was stored on a physical server somewhere that a company owned or that a company purchased from a vendor. Currently, as we might have seen, although a good example could be this call that we're having, it's also hosted on cloud. A lot of companies are taking advantage of cloud capabilities to store and manage data better, and the revenues grew by 68% in the last year, and is expected to grow another 7% in next year. So I have thrown around a lot of buzzwords, but let me start by sort of explaining the simple process by which the analytics operates. So there's data generation, the heart and soul of everything that we do. We need data to perform our analytics, to perform our AI, to execute our AI capabilities. Data generation is important because it has to be reliable, it has to be consistent, it has to be accurate to a certain extent, and it has to be usable. So I'll give everyone an example. So if I have a customer data, if I operate a store, and if there's a customer that's coming in, I need their basic demographic information, such as their age and their date of birth, their where they're from, and what's their income, things like that. I'm going to need that. But is it reliable? Is the first question. If a customer is providing that information, then I have no way of knowing. Well, I can verify it, but again, the analytics is all about saving costs, so that's not necessarily the best way where I can get the information. So there's market research firms where I could go and purchase data from. Even then, there's the question of whether or not that data is going to be reliable. So what it ultimately means is any data that we use currently in analytics, unless it's completely user provided, such as images and videos, it has a reliability issue, and we have to consistently tackle with that. So how do we tackle with that? That's the next step in analytics. That's data preparation. We clean, prepare, and manage data so that it is useful for analysis, and that in and of itself consists of 90% of the work and the effort that we put into our analytics projects. It's the behind-the-scenes work. Nobody wants to do it, but we all have to do it to clean the data and to prepare the data better. Once we have the data ready in a good quality, the next step is discovery. How do we hypothesize and explore our available data to answer key questions? Do we use statistical analysis? Do we use visualizations? Do we use machine learning models to examine the relationships? So that's all the discovery part. Once we have our explorations sort of aligned with our questions, then the next step is decision making. How do we use the insights from the statistical analysis to make informed decisions and design strategic blueprints? So if there's a question and find a consultant, how do I not only answer their question, but also provide a blueprint of how to move forward based on what we learned through the data? Currently, there is actually a lot of interest in analytics, but there's a lot of buzzwords that surround this industry. And all of these are kind of thrown around with the no meaning sometimes, but or sometimes they're used interchangeably. So let me explain a couple of the main buzzwords in the analytics industry. So first is big data. This big data, what it means is it is used to describe the immense volume of the data. Currently, this call is being recorded, and that's a video data, content data for Zoom. They might monitor it for quality assurance, and that means that data is being stored somewhere. But simultaneously, I believe there's thousands or 10,000s of calls that are happening right now on Zoom platform. That's all data for Zoom. So that's one example of big data. Every transaction, every mobile transaction that we make, every web transaction that we make, every text, every message that's exchanged, every email, that's all data. And big data encompasses all of these different things. The main element of big data, at least for me, is the difference between structured and unstructured data. Structured data is a tabular data that has rows and columns. Each row represents a customer. Each column will represent something about a customer, their demographics, their personal information, and so forth. Unstructured data, on the other hand, is data that cannot be put in traditional tabular forms. So that's text, audio, video, anything that's used to take advantage of analytics in 2020, which I'm going to explain just in a second. So data analytics is the field that I'm in, but I'm in all of these different fields, but data analytics is the field that I touch the most on a daily basis at work. Data analytics is looking through variables to examine relationships and make conclusions. So what does that mean? We're going to answer a statistical question to make a business conclusion. So let me give you an example. If a statistical question is, for a retail store, what is the correlation between customers' age and the presence of children? So let's say, I mean, the correlation is expected to be high, but it means our customers may not be like that. Our customers might be, adults in their 40s who don't have children. So we want to examine that correlation. So the business conclusion that we're going to ultimately make out of this is, how can we use this information to make better marketing offers to customers with children, right? So we examined it from an analytics perspective and using statistical techniques, and we made a business conclusion. And the third field is data science. That is the hottest buzzword around. Everyone wants to become a data scientist with a mild interest in programming or statistics. Data science is sort of this universal field that combines three most important elements. So on this Venn diagram here, so first is computer science and IT. So what it means is you need to have programming background. You need to be able to code. But also you need to have math and statistics knowledge. And also you need to have domain knowledge. Knowing how to program without knowing good math is not enough. But also knowing good programming and having a solid foundation of math and statistics is also not enough, because data science ultimately answers the questions in that field to make better decisions. So we have to have an expertise on what we're working with. Examples of data science applications. So let's take simpler examples, and that's forecasting sport game results or object recognition. If anybody uses an iPhone, they would know that when they go to their gallery, they might have a section called people. That's Apple's data science and machine learning techniques detecting those people, and then you can input a name on them, and then it's going to create a nice little album with all of those people. That's object recognition. That's an ultimate application of data science. But data science also can do things like synthetic text generation. So what it means is it can write emails, it can write poems like a human being once it's trained fully. It can also range to things like self-driving cars. So self-driving cars that Tesla is producing currently, or with that capability, they use extensive data science and artificial intelligence. Now, I hope I provided sort of a good enough background of the industry and its trends. Now I want to shift the attention towards talking about how analytics is used in banking. Snapshot of the analytics framework as far as I see it. So this chart here describes all of the data points we have about a customer. But that doesn't include everything, but it's just off the top of my head. So we have spending habits, their balances, how risky they are. We have their products, checking, savings, investment products. We have their relationship with other banks. Are we their only banking provider, or do they have other banks that they subscribe to? We can segment them based on different elements of their identity. We can look at their tenure. How long have they been with us? We can exchange in a conversation with them to determine their needs and to get their feedback on what's currently happening and how they currently feel about our services and products. We can look at their transactions, and we can look at their demographic. That's all here internally. We have, every company has this sort of information about its customer. Now, it seems like a lot, but also the main question is, how do we use all of this information effectively? So my area at my work is concerned with marketing analytics. So what we're really interested in is, understanding the customer behavior to predict future trends, studying and benchmarking our customers to understand their competitive positioning. So that this part, if they have a relationship with our bank, who those people are. Well, everything else on the circle explains that question. It answers that question. And we can also determine cross-sell or upsell opportunities. So cross-sell is if they have one product with us, can we determine how likely they're going to be to purchase a different product from us? And upsell is, can we upgrade their current product to something better so that we can meet their needs because they have some money laying around, and also we as a company can make some money. Marketing analytics is ultimately the area which I'm in, is really interested in studying the past so that we can make better marketing offers for our clients. And we have so much information about our clients that it becomes very important to look at the important elements, look at the usable elements of this data, because we might have 30 data points about a customer, but that doesn't mean that all 30 are going to be useful in designing or studying marketing offers from the past. And lastly here, what I want to talk about is acquiring and retaining customers with analytics. So the chart that I have here is sort of very interesting. So we have the customer life cycle. Let's say this is when they became a customer and this is the time they closed their account. The profitability here grows obviously as we spend more time with a customer. This area, once we acquire the customer, this area is the most important to keep their interest in our services and products. So for every company that might be different, the timeline is different. But what's important is it's not enough to only acquire a customer. There has to be a constant investment and initiatives in studying how customers will be retained, which means we have to study how customers are behaving over time so that we ultimately do our best to keep their interest in our services and products and to keep our relationship. Whatever happens before this, before customer acquisition, is all of it's a family of statistical models that we call acquisition models. So we use different programming tools, statistics, and machine learning algorithms to study what happened in the past and to predict who is likely to become a customer. If I made a marketing offer to 100 people in the past and only 70 have responded, I have a 70-30 split of people who haven't shown interest in my product. So I can study that. I can study that pattern, and I can determine who's going to be likely to become a customer. But I also can study what factors are impacting someone's choice to become a customer in real time. So in real time, meaning let's say within a day, I send someone an email with a marketing offer. Do they respond or not? Do they open the email or not? I have all of that data, and I can determine what parts of the marketing offer were or were not working based on the response that I get. And ultimately, based on everything that I learned so far, I can design effective marketing strategies to target the right customers in the future. But I need data coming in. I need more trading. I need more experimentation. I need more hypotheses. So that's where the big data comes in. And now the second family of models is retention models. So we can examine their demographics, their transaction behavior, how many ATM transactions are they completing? Are they using their debit card actively? Are they using our mobile app actively? Are they doing online transactions? Are they transferring money to their peers? All of that can be used in predicting whether or not they're going to stay with us, because we can, again, look at the past, look at last year, look at all the customers who have stayed and who have left. What can we learn from that we can apply to our future clients is the ultimate question in retention models. And ultimately what we can do is learn actions that we can take to keep our existing customers, but also to determine what are we not doing so well that's making our customers leave. And one of the important underrated elements of analytics for me is also looking at non-statistical factors that are contributing to acquisition, retention, and everything that we do, because it's not always about the data. It's not always about the stuff. I might be biased, but AI can't tell us everything. There has to be a domain knowledge involved. There has to be an expertise that lies beyond the data sets and the algorithms that we have, because sometimes that's not enough. That being said, I want to conclude my presentation at this point, and I'm happy to answer any questions or engage in a conversation.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, yeah, here you are. Good. So can I announce that the questions may be also be asked in Uzbek as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, hurmatli qatnashuvchilar, demak kimda kim ingliz yoki o'zbek tillarida javob bermoqchi bo'lsa, marhamat, ungacha men o'zim bir ikkita savollarim bor edi. Yuqorida aytib o'tganingizdek, publikatsiyalaringiz bor ekan. Shu publikatsiyalaringizda qaysi jihatlarni ko'rib chiqasiz, ular o'zi nima to'g'risida, shu to'g'risida oddiy yoritib berasiz.
Birinchi maqolam investitsiyalar mavzusida edi. Biz har xil kompaniyalar aksiyalarini, tarixiy muhitini, tarixiy tarbiyasini o'rganib, narxlarini qanday qilib biz yaxshiroq aksiyalarni sotib olish uchun algoritm qurganmiz. Va shu algoritmni statistik jihatlarini va uni kompyuter tomonidan qanday qilib kod yozganimizni o'sha publikatsiyada birinchi marta tushuntirgandik. Ikkinchi publikatsiyam shu oila bor, искусственный интеллект oilasida bir kichkina oilacha bor, reinforcement learning degan. U oilani maqsadi, asosiy maqsadi juda ham ko'p hozirgi analitikadagi masalalar tarixiy dataga qarab o'rganiladi. Tarixiy dataga qarab nimanidir o'rganib, keyin kelajakka o'shani taxmin qilsak bo'ladi. Lekin bu oilada, hozir aytib o'tgan oilamda, unda agent yoki robot o'zi har bitta qadamni tashlagandan keyin yaxshi yoki yomon ish qilayotganini o'rganadi. Unga biz oldindan aytib qo'yishimiz kerak, mana bu yaxshi ish, mana bu yomon ishdir. O'shanda o'zi o'rganib, kelajakda qanday qilib yaxshiroq strategiyani o'ylab chiqishni o'rgana oladi. Masala bo'lishi mumkin, misol uchun o'zi o'ynaydigan shaxmat algoritmlari mana shu oiladan kelib chiqqan. Biz nima qilganmiz? Biz o'sha oilani olib marketing tomonga o'rgatganmiz. Agar bizda 10 mingta xaridor bo'lsa, 10 mingta xaridorga har bittasiga biz email yuborsak bir kunda, ularning javobini kutsak, bizga javob berishadimi yo'qmi, bizga qiziqish ko'rsatishadimi yo'qmi? U o'zi email yuborib, o'zi o'rganadi, kim javob beryapti, kim javob bermayapti va shunga qarab u keyinchalik o'zini strategiyalarini inson yordamisiz yaxshilaydi. Mana shu ikkita yo'nalishda publikatsiya chiqargan.
Ham qiziq, rahmat. O'zi nima deb o'ylaysiz? Shu sun'iy intellektni joriy qilinishi banklarni endi albatta faoliyatiga ijobiy ko'rsatishi mumkin. Qanaqa salbiy jihatlari bor?
Salbiy jihatlari, biz o'zimizning sohamizda doim ko'proq ma'lumot olamiz, ko'proq danlik olamiz. Lekin uni katta muammosi qachondir juda ham ko'p danlik, juda ham ko'p data xavfli bo'lib qoladi. Chunki biz xaridorlarni shaxsiy danliklarini, shaxsiy informatsiyalarini juda ham ko'p olishga haqqimiz yo'q. Etik tomondan ham, legalniy tomondan ham bizga haqqimiz yo'q, huquqiy tomondan ham. O'shanga biz ehtiyot bo'lishimiz kerak. Eng katta salbiy jihat nima deb o'ylayman? Hozir prezentatsiyada aytib o'tganimdek, ko'p biznes liderlarida shu fikr bor. Agar men mana shu qanaqadir instrument, qanaqadir programmani qursam, ko'p savollarimga javob beradi deb, lekin baribir insonni o'zini xulosalari, insonni o'zini ko'zi, ayniqsa tajribasi bor odamni o'zi ko'rib muammoni hal qilishi bir xil statistikadan yaxshiroq bo'lishi mumkin, foydaliroq bo'lishi mumkin. Eng salbiy jihati 100% sun'iy intellektga ishonib qo'yish, 100% mana shu chunki sun'iy intellektni ham biz qurganmiz, odamlar qurgan. Agar bizda qanaqadir kamchiliklarimiz bo'ladigan bo'lsa, uni oynada sun'iy intellekt orqali ko'rishimiz mumkin. U baribir ko'rsatadi oxiri. O'shanga baribir insonlar o'zi ekspertizasi bor, tajribasi bor insonlar o'zi doimo ishtirok etishi kerak shu protsessda.
Nima deb o'ylaysiz? Ishsizlik muammosiga sun'iy intellekt qanaqa ta'sir qiladi? Qaysi ma'nodaki, agar misol uchun ma'lum bir xodimlarni funksional sun'iy intellektga yuklatiladigan bo'lsa, bu umuman olganda bankdagi misol uchun bank faoliyatida yoki moliyaviy institutlarda band bo'lgan xodimlarni yoki band bo'lgan odamlarni sonini kamaytirmasmi?
U baribir bo'ladi bir kun. O'sha tomonga qarab ketamiz baribir, chunki ayniqsa filialdagi ishchilar, har kuni xaridorlar bilan ishlaydigan ishchilarni juda ham katta qismini avtomatizatsiya qilish imkoniyati bor ularni har kungi ishini. O'shaning uchun ham hozirgi kunda juda ham ko'p odamlarni iloji bo'lganda chaqirgan bo'lardim. Mana shu har xil kompyuter bilimini umuman olib qaraganda oshirish uchun, chunki juda ham muhim narsa. Agar epillik sotuvchi, magazindagi sotuvchi, man yoki mendagi mana tengdoshlarim agar bizda to'g'ri resurslar, to'g'ri texnologiya bo'lsa qo'limizda, biz ularni ishini o'rganib 3-4 oyda balki avtomatizatsiya qila olamiz. Endi robotlarni qurish u injenerlarning ishi. Biz immuniy algoritm tomonidan qarab o'rgana olamiz o'sha narsani, shunga qarab xulosa chiqara olamiz. Lekin bu degani men baribir insoniyatga ishonaman. Oldin ham 90-yillarda ham aytilgan edi, sekretarlar qolmaydi 2010-yilga boribdi. Hozir ularni ish faoliyati ancha baribir bor va ishlarini elementlari, vazifalari ancha ko'paygan, ancha kenglashtirilgan. Lekin bu katta xavf. Baribir kompaniyalar uchun, institutlar uchun pulni saqlab qolish, kamroq pul ishlatish, pulni aqlliroq ishlatish baribir eng katta masala bo'lib qoladi. Va unda bizni ekspertizamiz baribir kerak bo'ladi. Bu degani xohlaymizmi yo'qmi, baribir qaysidir insonlar ishini yo'qotishi mumkin.
Mana juda ham yaxshi maslahat berdingiz. Aynan axborot texnologiyalari sohasida bilimlarni muntazam oshirib borishga e'tibor qaratish kerak degan. Bu yerda siz aynan qaysi dasturlarni maslahat bergan bo'lardingiz yoki qaysi yo'nalishda axborot texnologiyalari, chunki o'zingiz bilasiz juda keng va bu yerda hozirgi paytda misol uchun qaysi transformatsiya jarayonida yoki mana endigina mehnat bozoriga kirib kelayotgan yoshlar bo'ladimi? Ularga qanaqa maslahat bergan bo'lardingiz?
Agar informatika sohasida o'qishmasa, agar injener bo'lishni xohlamasa kimdir, birinchidan Microsoft Office'ni hamma programmalarni yaxshi o'rganish kerak. Men eng katta maslahat beradiganim Excel, chunki juda ham ko'p har xil foydali jihatlari bor uni. Ayniqsa data bilan ishlash uchun. Men uchun eng muhim narsalardan bittasi o'zimda o'rganganimda, o'zimning tajribamdan kelib chiqib, bu har bitta Excelda keladigan faylni formatini o'rganish va nimalar qila olishi mumkinligini o'rganish bo'lgan. O'sha tablitsa orqali datani ko'rib tushuna olish, shu darajada xulosa chiqara olish men uchun juda ham muhim bo'lgan. Undan tashqari hozir juda ham rivojlanib ketgani uchun bu soha juda ham mashhur bo'lib ketgani uchun eng asosiy kod yozish tillari hozirda tekin. Misol uchun Python degan tilni olishimiz mumkin yoki SAS degan tilni olishimiz mumkin, R degan tilni olishimiz mumkin. Ular hammasi tekin. Bular uchun onlayn resurslar mavjud va onlayn kurslar ham agar qanaqadir veb-saytga boriladigan bo'lsa 9-10 AQSh dollari bo'lishi mumkin bor yo'q. O'shanda menimcha yoshlikdan shu narsaga berilsa, ekspert bo'lish shart emas hech kim. Lekin fundament o'sha eng asosiy bilim nimaligini bilish menimcha eng foydali narsa deb o'ylayman. Hozirda mana shu mani sohamda data science, analitika sohasida mana shu Python, Excel yoki danlarni vizualizatsiya qilish uchun boshqa har xil Tableau degan programmalar ham mavjud. Ularni hammasi o'rganish juda ham oson. Hech qaysi insondan injener bo'lishni talab qilmaydi bu narsa. Lekin agar keyingi etapga, keyingi bosqichga olib chiqaman desa kimdir, unda faqat axborot texnologiyalarini, elementlarini o'rganish yetarli emas. Unda matematika, statistika sohalaridan ham yetarlicha bilim bo'lishi shart. Ehtimollar nazariyasini o'rganish meni hayotimdagi eng katta burilishlardan bittasi bo'lgan. Juda ham oson eshitilishi mumkin, lekin u odamni dunyoqarashini, fikrini o'zgartirishi mumkin. O'shanda hozirda ko'pchilik qilayotgan xatoni ko'raman, ular faqat tekin ekan deb o'rganishadi. Tillarni, har xil programmalarni, lekin undan tashqari baribir matematikada, statistikada, fizikada yetarlicha bilim bo'lishi kerak deb o'ylayman. Agar bo'lmasa, programma tillarini o'rgangandan keyin ikkinchi bosqich kurs olib matematikada, statistikadan bilimini yaxshilash kerak deb o'ylayman.
Hozir mana bankda faoliyat yuritsangiz, asosiy faoliyatingiz nimadan iborat? Masalan, bir kuningizni tasvirlab bering.
Konsultant sifatida ishlayman. O'shanga hozirda mani xaridorlarim, mani klientlarim bank ichidagi marketing professionallari. Ular har xil tashabbus ustida ish olib borishadi marketing sohasida. Mani vazifam ularga kelib aytaylik, biz mana shu qanaqadir regionda mana shu misollarga xat yubormoqchimiz yoki reklama qilmoqchimiz. Mani ishim o'sha so'rovni olib, o'sha regiondagi xaridorlarimizni xarakteristikalarini o'rganib va oldin nima bo'lganlarini o'rganib, agar oldin qanaqadir reklama yuritgan bo'lsak, kelajakda qanchalik shu narsa foydali yoki qanchalik samarali bo'lishini tasvirlab berish. Mani ishim juda ham uzoq proyektlar ham bor, juda ham qisqa proyektlar ham bor. Bir kunda hal bo'ladigan. Mani ishim shu misollarga statistik tomondan maslahat va yo'nalish ko'rsatish. Agar eng qiyin jihatlaridan biri ishimni, unda agar kimdir kelib menga qaysi insonlarda ehtimoli ko'proq bizga xaridor bo'lish uchun, qaysi insonlar bizga yoki qaysi insonlarni ehtimoli ko'proq biz bankimizdan ketib qolishiga deyiladigan savollarga bunga kelganda juda ham oliy statistika kitoblarini ochib, har xil masalalarni yechib ko'rib, har xil algoritmlarni yo'lga qo'yishga harakat qilishimiz kerak bo'ladi. O'sha eng qiyin ishlardan bittasi. Lekin kun davomida konsultantman, insonlarga statistika tomonidan yordam beraman.
O'zbekiston banklari faoliyati to'g'risida eshitganmisiz? Qanaqadir ma'lumotga egamiz? Agar ega bo'lsangiz, uni hozirgi holatini qanday baholashingiz mumkin va sizda misol uchun bor tajriba, bor bilimlarni, qaysi jihatlarni sizni fikringizcha mana O'zbekiston banklarida qo'llash imkoniyati bor va bu nimalarga olib kelishi mumkin?
Oxirgi 1-2 yilda juda ham yaxshi kuzatdim. Pul transferlari masalasida ancha rivojlanish bor. Ayniqsa menga eng yoqqan jihatlaridan bittasi har juda ham katta banklarni o'zini mobilniy dasturi bo'lgani. Chunki u narsa xaridorlar bilan birga bir kanal yaratishda juda ham muhim hisoblanadi. Brend masalasi, brend tomonidan. pul transferlari bizda bilamiz juda ham muhim narsalardan bittasi. Hamma davlatda, lekin bizda shu paytgacha shu narsa ancha rivojlanmagan edi. Lekin oxirgi yillarda shu narsani ko'rib juda ham xursand bo'ldim. Bu degani men uchun eng katta pozitiv jihati yo'nalish to'g'ri. Yo'nalish to'g'ri yo'lda ketyapti. Jahon andozalaridan o'rganib, qaysi praktikalarni o'zimizda qo'llash mumkinligi haqida yaxshi bilimga ega bo'lishyapti. Nimani maslahat bergan bo'lardim? Balki men ozgina o'zim sohamda bo'lgani uchun shu narsani qayta aytiraman. Xaridorlar haqida informatsiya yig'ish, ishonchli va ishlab bo'ladigan informatsiya yig'ish. Chunki agar inson bankka borib qarz olmoqchi yoki kredit olmoqchi bo'lsa, o'zi haqida qanaqadir informatsiya to'ldirib, anketa to'ldirib topshiradi. Ana o'sha informatsiya qayerda saqlanadi va qayerda saqlanishidan tashqari qanday maqsadda ishlatiladi. Chunki biz keyin bu hamma informatsiya tekin hisoblanadi, xaridor bizga beryapti. Bunga biz hech qanaqa investitsiya qilishimiz shart emas. Investitsiya agar informatsiyani yig'ishga bo'lmasa, ichkaridagi ishchilarga berilishi kerak. Mana shu narsalarni analiz qilib, qanday qilib qaysi xaridorlar bilan taktikamizni, marketing tomonidan tashabbuslarimizni yaxshilashimiz mumkin. Va menimcha o'sha narsada juda ham katta imkoniyat bor. Chunki biz xaridorlarimiz haqida yetarlicha informatsiya yig'maymiz deb o'ylayman, lekin informatsiya bor ichkarida. O'shani to'g'riroq ishlatish menimcha juda ham yaxshi natijalarga olib kelishi mumkin.
Bu yil ilm ma'rifat va raqamli iqtisodiyotni rivojlantirish yili deb e'lon qilindi va bizning oliy maktabimizda raqamli iqtisodiyot va xalqaro raqamli integratsiya ixtisosligi bo'yicha oliy ta'limdan keyingi ta'lim joriy qilingan. Ya'ni bu falsafa doktori va fan doktorlarni tayyorlash va ularni misol uchun bevosita ularga darajalar berishga oliy komitetiga demak taqdim etish bo'yicha mana shu doirada bizda hozir siz aytib o'tgan masalalar ham yoritiladi. Qaysi ma'nodaki ma'lumotlar bilan ishlash va banklarni shu ma'lumotlardan to'g'ri foydalana olish. Shu jihatda hozir dolzarb masalalardan biri bu mana digital cash deydi, ya'ni raqamli pullar deydimi buni. Va aynan shu mexanizmni hozirda joriy etish bo'yicha va juda ko'p tadqiqotlar olib borilmoqda. Sizning fikringizcha mana shu mexanizmlarni joriy qilishda sun'iy intellektni roli qanday bo'ladi?
Juda ham muhim ikkita tomoni. Birinchisi mana shu tashabbuslar joriy qilinishiga qadar agar pul kimdirdan kimdirga o'tkaziladigan bo'lsa yoki agar pul mani cho'ntagimda digital bo'lib yashaydigan bo'lsa, buni birinchidan xavfsizlik tomonidan ancha o'rganishga sun'iy intellektni talanti bor. Shu narsaga katta qobiliyati bor bu narsaga. Chunki biz nima qilishimiz mumkin? Oldin noto'g'ri ishlatilgan pullar yoki oldin o'g'rilik bo'lgan joylarni o'rganib, ularni kelajakda ulardan ehtiyot bo'lish uchun sun'iy intellektni o'rgatishimiz mumkin. Agar bizga har xil e'lonlar yuborilishi mumkin telefonimizda, mana shunaqa har xil g'alati narsalar bo'lyapti, ehtiyot bo'lgan bo'lsangiz. O'sha narsa birinchidan joriy qilinishiga qadar juda ham muhim bo'ladi. Joriy qilingandan keyin xaridorlarni har kungi qilayotgan ishlarini o'rganib, ishlarni o'rgangandan keyin ularga har xil to'g'ri tashabbuslar, to'g'ri marketing, to'g'ri qiziq har xil takliflar yuborilishi uchun ham sun'iy intellekt juda ham muhim bo'ladi. Va shu narsalar o'rgangandan keyin bu aytaylik qanaqadir mobil dasturda shu narsa joriy qilingan. agar xaridorlarimiz nimalar qilayotganini va ularga nima kerakligini sun'iy intellekt orqali o'rganadigan bo'lsak, keyin ularga to'g'ri dasturimizni to'g'ri o'zgartirishimiz mumkin, to'g'ri ma'noda, to'g'ri yo'lda o'zgartirishimiz mumkin. Bu nafaqat bizga pul olib keladi, misol uchun qanaqadir kompaniyaga pul olib keladi. Bu xaridorlarning har kungi tajribasini ham ancha yaxshilaydi. Bu degani, agar xaridorlar bu narsadan to'g'ri foydalanib, maza qilib ishlatishayotgan bo'lsa, bu narsani tarqashi va insonlarda shu narsaga immunitet paydo bo'lishi, shu narsa har kungi hayotda bir qismiga aylanib qolishida ham juda ham katta rol o'ynaydi deb o'ylayman.
Rahmat. Hozir bitta qatnashchidan rus tilida savol berildi. Большинство населения в Узбекистане хранит свои сбережения не в банках. Как вы думаете, это связано с национальным характером? То есть, возможно, имеется в виду, что изначально привыкли люди, да, хранить не в банках, или с экономической ситуацией? То есть это вам вопрос, как экономисту идет уже более такой общий. Agar o'zbek tilida bo'lsa, o'zbek tilida javob beradi.
Это сложно сказать, manimcha endi nasionalность, mentalitet juda ham katta rol o'ynaydi deb o'ylayman. Lekin o'zgarib bo'lmaydi deb o'ylamayman. O'zgarish uchun hammada immunitet, hammada imkoniyat bor. Ekonomika jihatdan olib qaraganda, to'g'ri, hali yosh davlatimiz, hali ancha rivojlanishga imkoniyatlarimiz bor oldinda. Lekin bu degani hozirdagi insonlarimizni qanaqadir mentaliteti va faoliyati keyingi 3-4 yilda o'zgarishi mumkin, agar to'g'ri takliflar, to'g'ri resurslar ularga yaratib berilsa. Buning uchun faqatgina bir tomondan, faqatgina kompaniya yoki tashkilot tomonidan o'ylash kerak emas bu narsalarni. Hozirda dunyodagi eng katta kompaniyalardan biri Amazon. Amazon qanaqa qilib bu narsaga erishgan? Chunki Amazon faqat xaridorni birinchi o'ringa qo'ydi. Oldindan eshitganmiz bu narsani, lekin ular amalda birinchi marta ko'rsatib berishdi. Agar xaridorni oxirgi foydalanuvchini o'ylaydigan bo'lsak, menimcha ancha ularda ham shu narsaga ko'nikish paydo bo'ladi. Chunki ular bilishadi, har bitta qilinayotgan tashabbus ularni yaxshiligida, ularni har kungi hayotini yaxshilash uchun qilinmoqda.
Juda ham yaxshi javob bo'ldi. Haqiqatda banklarimiz xaridorlar bilan ishlashga juda katta e'tibor berish kerak va qanchalik ko'p e'tibor bersa, qanchalik xaridorlarga yoki mijozlarga, bank qanchalik mijozlarga qulay sharoitlar, ham ularning xizmatlaridan foydalanishga qulay sharoitlar, ham hozir siz aytib o'tgan sun'iy intellekt elementlaridan foydalangan holda xaridorni o'zini misol uchun o'rgangan holda tegishli produktlarni bank agar produkt yaratsa, shu tegishli produktlarni taklif qiladigan bo'lsa, bunda xaridorlarni shu jumladan aholini ham bankka bo'lgan ishonchi oshadi va o'z navbatida pullarni savolda berilgandek aynan banklarda saqlashi lozim deb topadi degan fikrdaman. Assalomu alaykum, ismim Aziz Kurdiyev. Data science bo'yicha mutaxassislarimiz bor. Savolim quyidagicha: O'zbekistonda ushbu instrumentlarni integratsiya qilish qancha vaqt olishi mumkin? Ya'ni Amerika tajribasidan kelib chiqqan holda qancha muddatda siz natija erishiladi? Instrument deganda artificial intelligence, ya'ni sun'iy intellekt data analysis bo'lsa kerak, ma'lumotlar tahlili va software, ya'ni dasturiy ta'minot nazarda tutmoqda. Bu savol sizda ham ko'rinsa kerak.
Menimcha endi har xil industriyaga qarab, sektorga qarab har xil degan bo'lardim. Ma'lumotlarni taqdim qilish yoki insonlarni shu mentalitetga o'rgatish qanaqadir statistik savol beraman, shunga qarab javob olaman va shu narsaga men ishonishim kerak. Chunki bu bizning ichkaridagi ma'lumotlarimizni bo'g'otgan narsa degan mentalitetni joyga qo'yib olsa, menimcha boshqa tomonlari, instrument tomonlaridan u ikkinchi masala deb o'ylayman. Instrument hamma bu yerdagi tashkilotlarda har xil, lekin boya yuqorida aytib o'tganlarim hamma yerda ishlatiladi. Danlarni analiz qilishga kelganda, menimcha eng muhim tomoni bu to'g'ri savollarni so'rash va ikkinchidan kimdir javobi bo'lgan yoki biladigan savollarni so'ramaslik. Chunki ko'p bu yerda ham ayniqsa tajribasi kam bo'lgan kompaniyalarda yoki ishchilarda nima kuzatilinadi? Yuqori lavozimdagi ishchilar kelib so'rashadi, menga oxirgi 10 yildagi o'sish natijasini bergan. O'sish natijasi bilinadi hammada, chunki kompaniya agar oldin 10 ta ishchi bo'lgan bo'lsa, hozir 10 ta ishchi bo'lgan bo'lsa bilinadi. Lekin undan maqsad nima? Menga o'zim biladigan ma'lumotni prosta ishonchli qilib bergan. Lekin bu narsa yuksalishga olib kelmaydi, bu narsa uzoq rivojlanishga olib kelmaydi. Damlarni analiz qilayotgandagi eng muhim narsa biz kutmagan narsalarni, biz ishonmagan narsalarni ma'lumotlarni ichida ko'ra olamizmi va shunga qarab qanaqadir xulosalar chiqara olamizmi. Menimcha agar katta tashkilotda ishlatish boshlansa, agar shu har xil instrumentlarni, har xil dasturlarni ishlatish boshlashgandan keyin natija eng muhimi bo'ladi. Agar to'g'ri mentalitet bilan shu instrument to'g'ri ishlatiladigan bo'lsa, ularning raqobatchilari ko'rib sezishadi, ular ancha oldinga o'tib ketishyapti yoki ular ancha yaxshiroq ish qilishyapti. Bu hammasi agar sun'iy intellektdan kelib chiqayotgan bo'lsa, boshqa tashkilotlar ham ularning orqasidan shu narsaga investitsiya qilishi mumkin deb o'ylayman. O'shanga aniq 2-3 yil deb aytolmayman, lekin industriyaga qarab har xil javobim shu. 2-3 yil emas, undan kamroq bo'lishi ham mumkin. Ayniqsa menimcha eng muhim, eng qiziq sektorlardan bittasi savdo-sotiq. Har xil do'konlarda, magazinlarda bo'ladigan har bir tranzaksiyani yig'ib o'rganish menimcha qiyinchilik ko'rsatmaydi, chunki agar ayniqsa kredit kartalar orqali bo'layotgan bo'lsa bu narsa, bu ma'lumotga ega bo'lgandan keyin shunaqa sektorlarda juda ham oson bo'lishi mumkin. Lekin bank yoki tibbiy xizmat ko'rsatish sektorlarida ularni qiyin tomonlari yoki qiyin elementlari ko'p bo'lgani uchun, katta industriya bo'lgani uchun 4-5 yil ketishi mumkin deb o'ylayman.
Bunda mana banklarda yoki yuqori ofis meditsina sohasida, sog'liqni saqlashda qaysi mamlakatda tajribalari sizga ko'proq manzur kelgan, sizga ko'proq, misol uchun, qaysidir bir jihatlari yoqqan?
Qaysi jihatlari boshi eshitilmay qoldi audioda.
Mana banklarda yoki sog'liqni saqlashda sun'iy intellektdan foydalanish bo'yicha qaysi mamlakatni tajribasi va u tajribaning qaysi jihatlari sizga manzur kelgan?
Tibbiy xizmat ko'rsatishda juda ham ko'p misollar bor, ayniqsa Yevropada. Ularda sun'iy intellektni nimaga ishlatishda insonni badanini qaysidir tomonini rasmga olib, unda qaysidir kasalliklar bor yoki yo'q degan diagnoz qo'yish uchun oldingi kasali bor insonlarni rasmlarini o'rganib, sun'iy intellekt shuni xulosa chiqarib bera oladi. Bu narsalar ketiladigan pul diagnozga yoki tibbiy professionallarga to'lanadigan pulni ancha, ketiladigan vaqtni ham ancha qisqartirishi mumkin. Banklarga keladigan bo'lsak, Amerika Qo'shma Shtatlarida juda ham ko'p misollar bor. Qarz olish juda ham oson bo'lib qolgan. Agar har kungi ishlarim uchun juda ham mayda pul olmoqchi bo'lsam, banklarda yoki moliyaviy xizmat ko'rsatadigan kichkina kompaniyalarda shunaqa imkoniyat bor. Va banklarni hozirgi eng katta qilayotgan tashabbuslardan bittasi shu pul o'tkazish dasturlari bilan integratsiya qilish. Agar aytaylik, qanaqadir mobil dastur bor banda, lekin hech qanaqa bankga ulanmagan, men bankimdan mobil dasturi ichiga pul tashlab, undan keyin kimgadir yuborishim mumkin. Hozir banklar mana shu mobil dasturlarni egalariga yoki kompaniyalariga ancha investitsiya berib, shuni qo'shsak bo'ladimi? Agar shu oradagi bankdan dasturga pul o'tadigan vaqtni qisqartirsak bo'ladimi deb ancha rivojlanish olib borishyapti.
Yana bir savol chiqdi. Sherzod Yo'qochiq deganlar. Assalomu alaykum. Tradingda valyuta kurslari va fond bozorlaridagi aksiyalarni fundamental tahlil, data analyze etganmisiz? Unda qanday analitik instrumentlar va modellardan foydalangansiz yoki foydalanishni maslahat berasiz? Bu manimcha birinchi maqolangizga tegishli bo'lgan savol.
Yaxshi savol, qiziq savol. Valyuta kurslariga qaramaganmiz, lekin fond bozorlariga qaraganmiz va fundamental tahlildan foydalanganmiz. Birinchi qadamimiz o'sha bo'lgan. Lekin biz ikkinchi tomonda nima qilganmiz? Har bitta kompaniyani 4 ta yoki 5 ta kriteriya asosida baholashni o'rganganmiz. Unga har xil adabiyotda bor, har xil fikrlar mavjud. Bizga shu narsa yoqqan. Agar alohida bu uchrashuvdan tashqaridan olsak, men u haqida ko'proq ma'lumot berishim mumkin. Menimcha eng muhim narsasi o'tda har bitta qilayotgan statistik tahlilimizni regressiya bo'ladimi? Regressiyani ishlatganmiz, misol uchun narxini taxmin qilishga yoki o'sha 4 ta kriteriya orqali kompaniyani baholash bo'ladimi? U birinchidan iloji bo'lishi kerak shu narsani qilishga. U faqat nazariy narsa bo'lishi kerak emas, amalda iloji bo'lishi kerak. U amalda iloji bo'lishi uchun biz har xil dasturlash tillaridan foydalanganmiz. Birinchidan Pythondan foydalanganmiz va ikkinchidan ma'lumotlar juda ham katta bo'lganidan keyin, juda ham ko'p bo'lganidan keyin ularni qanaqadir ishonchli, tezkor joyda saqlash kerak bo'ladi. Bu 10-20 gigabaytli fayllarni kompyuterda saqlash 19-20 yillik tarix uchun yaxshi fikr emas deb o'ylayman. O'shaning uchun umumiy protsess qanaqa qilib ma'lumotlarni yig'amiz, ma'lumotlarni qanaqa qilib ishlatamiz, qaysi literaturadan foydalanganimizda mayli menga qiziq eshitilishi mumkin literatura, lekin Excelda yoki Pythonda shu narsani iloji bormi, yo'qmi qilishni yoki faqat fikrmi degan narsa ham muhim. Modellarga kelganda statistik modellardan foydalanganmiz 4 tasidan. Eng muhimi shu regressiya bo'lgan. Keyin oxirgi 5 yillik tarixini o'rganib, narxni, kompaniya narxi yoki foydasini, narxni emas foydasini har yil aytaylik 3% foyda beryapti kompaniya menga aksiyasini sotib olganimdan keyin oxirgi 5 yillik foydasini o'rganib 6-yillik foydasini taxmin qila olamizmi yo'q. Va keyin shu modelimizni 5 yildan 4 yilga, 4 yildan 3 yilga o'zgartirib har xil eksperiment olib borganmiz.
Bu haqiqatda juda qiziq mavzu va bunga nasib qilsa alohida agar vaqtingiz bo'ladigan bo'lsa alohida bir chiqish qilib bersangiz menimcha juda qiziq bo'ladi. Hozir bilasiz, bu yili bir o'zgacha kechyapti menimcha butun dunyoda. Hozirgi vaziyat ancha-muncha davlatlarni dunyoqarashi, alohida insonlarni emas, hatto davlatlarni dunyoqarashini o'zgartirdi. Sizni fikringizcha bu hozirgi vaziyat sun'iy intellektning rivojlanishiga qanday ta'sir ko'rsatadi va banklarni 5 yildan keyin qanaqa banklar paydo bo'lishi mumkin. Chunki xohlaymizmi yo'qmi, hozirgi holati albatta ma'lum bir transformatsiyaga uchrashi bu aniq gap. Siz shuni qanday ko'rasiz?
Banklarga kelganda menimcha agar differensiya ushlashimiz hali 2-3 yilga kerak bo'ladigan bo'lsa insonlar orasida menimcha fiziki banklar fiziki bo'lmagan banklar yaraladi deb o'ylayman. Butunlay virtual bo'lgan banklar yaralishi mumkin. Hozirda ham bor, lekin ularga talab ko'payishi mumkin. Chunki baribir oddiy tarixiy banklar filiallarga juda ham ko'p ishonadi, filiallarga juda ham ko'p bog'lanish mavjud bo'ladi. O'shaning uchun virtual banklar, ikkinchidan sun'iy intellektni bu masalani hal qilishga ishlatilmishi menimcha har bitta hozirda menimcha Apple ham shu narsani yaratishdi. Hozirda geolokatsiyaga qarab qaysi inson qayerda bo'lgan va virusni boshqa qaysi insonlarga yetkazib berishi mumkin bo'lishini o'rganishimiz juda ham oson bo'lib qolgan. Va faqat mana shu COVID uchun emas, menimcha kattaroq bundan biz uchun dars. Kelajakda agar shunga o'xshagan yana muammolarimiz bo'ladigan bo'lsa, oldinroq ishlatishimiz kerak qo'limizdagi instrumentlarni, bizda mavjud bo'lgan resurslarni. Chunki hozir endi mana o'ylashyapti, hammada telefon bor, hammada qanaqadir instrument bor, biz uni geolokatsiyasini o'rgansak bo'ladi. Lekin banklarning faoliyatiga ta'sir qilishi menimcha juda ham katta bo'lmaydi, chunki oxirgi 5-6 yilda baribir virtual bankda qanaqadir mobil dasturlardan yoki veb-saytdan foydalanib ish qilish ko'paygan edi. Ayniqsa yoshroq aholida. Oxirgi marta filialga borganim men eslamadim. Menimcha ko'pchilikda ham shunaqa fikr bo'lsa kerak, filialga borib chek yozib nimadir qilish u biz uchun eski yoki tarixda qolib ketgan fikrga o'xshab eshitiladi. O'shaning uchun o'zgarishning eng katta sababi menimcha shu filiallarning yo'qolishi, filialsiz banklarning paydo bo'lishi va juda ham kichkina element bo'lishi mumkin butun masalada, lekin debit kartalarni yoki kredit kartalarni ishlatishda ham menimcha qaysi bir insonning qo'li shu narsaga aralashayotgani uchun va ikkinchi odamga berilayotgani uchun menimcha bu narsalarni ham oldini olish mumkin bo'ladi. Virtual debit kartalar bilan faqat telefondan foydalanib. Hozirda ham bu narsa mavjud, lekin juda ham mashhur emas. Menimcha shu narsani mashhurligi ham oshadi deb o'ylayman.
Suhbatimiz oxirida ijozat bersangiz shaxsiy savol beraman. O'zingiz rejalaringiz to'g'risida gapirsangiz, masalan, yaqin 5 yilga qaysi yana shu o'zingizning sohangizga tegishli bo'lgan qaysi jihatlarni o'rganmoqchisiz, qaysi jihatlar ustida izlanishlar olib bormoqchisiz va professional rejalaringiz nimadan iborat?
Savol uchun rahmat. Menimcha ishimga kelganda eng muhim narsalardan bittasi birinchi savol etish mavzuda edi, avtomatizatsiya. Hozirgi kunda men bilaman, qo'limdagi har kungi ishlatayotgan instrumentlarimda men o'zimning ishimni ham avtomatizatsiya qilsam bo'ladi. O'zim qilayotgan ishlarni ham o'rgansam bo'ladi va shu narsa juda ham qiziq, juda ham zo'r paradoks narsa. Lekin kelajakka qaraganda keyingi 5 yilda hozirda har bitta bank, har bitta tashkilot juda ham ko'p kanallar orqali xaridorlar bilan muloqotda bo'lgisi keladi. Bu sotsial media bo'ladimi, reklama, televizordagi, radiodagi reklama, gazetadagi reklama, email, har bitta kanallarni o'rganish uchun juda ham ko'p resurs, juda ham ko'p vaqt kerak. O'shani hozirda juda ham ko'p dasturlar mavjud, lekin ular juda ham katta pul talab qilishadi dasturlarni ishlatishga. Mana shu har bitta xaridor bilan har bitta kanalda qanday qilib muloqotga kirishayotgani va ular menga qanaqa resultat olib kelayotganligini o'rgansa bo'ladi. Va shuni biz bankimizda qolgan banklar ham shu narsaga intilishyapti. Ichkariga olib kelib o'zimiz qurish shu narsani. Bu avtomatizatsiya, bu har bitta reklama, har bitta kommunikatsiya to'g'ri yo'lda, to'g'ri vaqtda chiqib ketadi degani. Va o'sha narsa chiqib ketishi bilan keyingi 1-2 kunda shu narsaning natijasini o'rgana olamiz degan. Lekin lekin uni eng chiroyli va eng qiyin tarafi insonlar aralashuvi. Insonlar faqat rezultatlarni ko'rib, natijalarni ko'rib, faqatgina o'qib shunaqa bo'libdi deyishi mumkin, lekin olib uni analiz qilishimda menga hojat qolmaydi. Shu narsani olib kelish ichkarida bankimizning ichida eng katta maqsadlarimdan bittasi. Va shu narsa bo'lgandan keyin ko'ramiz. Ilmiy tomondan ham niyatlarimiz bor. Balki PhD sohasida boshlagan ishlarimni, magistr bo'lganimda boshlagan ishlarimni davom ettirishga ham niyat bor. Nasib bo'lsa endi karyeramiz rivojlangandan keyin sekin o'ylab ko'ramiz narsani.
Rahmat. Umuman olganda shu bir soatdan sal oshiqroq vaqtga ajratganingiz uchun yana bir bor minnatdorchilik bildiraman. Barcha ishlaringizda biz omadlar, zafarlar tilayman va bu birinchi bo'lishi bilan umid qilamanki oqibaman va nasibda hozirgi dunyodagi vaziyat ham yaxshi tarafga o'zgarib, biz bilan shaxsan ko'rishishga, umidiga yetishishga rahmat. Hamma ishlaringizda omadlar, salomat bo'ling.
Rahmat kattakon. Chaqirganingiz uchun ham ishtirokchilarga qo'shilishgani uchun minnatdorchilik bildiraman. Maktab ishiga ham, faoliyatingizga ham rivojlab qolaman. Chaqirganingiz uchun rahmat. Aytganingizdek, yana ko'rishishdan, shaxsan ko'rishishdan umid qilib qolaman. Faoliyatingizga omad tilab qolaman. Rahmat kattakon.
Rahmat. Salomat bo'ling. Kuningiz yaxshi bo'lsin.
Sog' bo'linglar.